Good morning. Hafa day, everyone. I'd like to begin first by calling up Mr. Robert Guzman. Please join us up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here this morning. You know, we're here to recognize Mr. Guzman for all of the hard work that he's done in documenting a lot of the history involved with the Guam Fire Department. When I first heard about it, I thought that was so amazing. I'm a history buff myself. Just growing up, my dad is really into history. My dad taught history, and I grew up learning about history, so I'm a huge history buff. So something like this is something I find very, very valuable, not only to the fire department, but I think to the entire island of Guam, to have someone be able to actually document, catalog, and record all of the history of the Guam Fire Department. So I think it's very appropriate that we recognize Mr. Guzman today. So I want to begin by reading the resolution that we'll be presenting. So, relative to recognizing Mr. Robert M. Guzman for his contributions and commending him for his initiative to compile and preserve fire cycle history of the Guam Fire Department, be it resolved by Iminay 35 na Iles Turan Guahan, whereas Robert M. Guzman is the son of Guahan who was born on March 4th of 1963, and he resides in Santa Rita with his wife, Lorraine P. Guzman, and their 3 children, John, Robbie, and Ryan. He is the 5th child of 7 siblings, whereas Robert graduated from the Guam Community College in May of 1981, and upon graduating from high school, Robert enlisted in the U.S. Army and served for 4 years as an active military service member, serving from September 1981 through September 1985. Upon returning home, Robert enlisted in the Guam Air National Guard in November of 1985 and retired in March 2016. And whereas Robert attended the Fire Academy of the Guam Community College and graduated in 1989, which marked a pivoting point in his career as a firefighter with the Guam Fire Department. Robert started his public safety career with the Guam Fire Department on May 15th of 1989 and served for 29 years and 8 months before retiring on January 18th of 2019. And whereas Robert's dedication to excellence assisted everyone around him to prosper in their duties and ensure that the establishment was properly functioning and maintained, his positive attitude was an encouragement for everyone, especially in the workplace as well as in the community. And whereas Robert's commitment to his duties and to the community as a first responder with the Guam Fire Department who provided first aid treatment, life support measures, and comfort during an emergency or disaster paved the way and inspired him to pursue the project of duly recognizing and documenting the information of all past women and men who bravely and tirelessly served, continue to serve, and will serve in the Guam Fire Department, continuing the tradition to protect and serve the community. And whereas Robert gathered previously unattainable information and photos of each fire cycle's graduating class to document, preserve, and archive the historical information of all the women and men who willingly put their lives on the line to protect the people of Guahan in service with the Guam Fire Department. And whereas Robert researched extensively and endeavored to make sure all names and photos he gathered were documented and framed, his archives date back to the first fire cycle in 1977 through the 20th fire cycle in 2014. He awaits completion of the 21st fire cycle's graduation to acquire pictures and names of those graduates. And whereas Robert is continuously working to gather information of the women and men who served prior to 1977, when the Guam Police Department and the Guam Fire Department fell under the auspices of what was then the Department of Public Safety. And whereas Robert Guzman pursued this project not only as a cherished personal hobby, but also for the sake of historical preservation for his fellow firefighters and future generations to enjoy and to connect the present with the past in honor of those who have come before him. With his giving nature, unselfish ways, and his positivity, Robert is fondly described as Geftau, meaning unselfish or generous by those closest to him. Now therefore, be it resolved that Iminay 35 na Iles Turan Guahan does hereby on behalf of the people of Guam recognize Mr. Robert M. Guzman for his contributions and commend him for his initiative to compile and preserve fire cycle history of the Guam Fire Department. And be it further resolved that the Speaker certify and the legislative secretary attest to the adoption hereof, and the copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to Mr. Robert M. Guzman and to the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Imagahagan, Guahan, duly and regularly adopted by Mina 35 na Iglesia Turin, Guahan on the 26th day of March of 2019. Congratulations. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming for this resolution. Thank you, Senator Ridgell, for this resolution, and thank you for your staff. Angela, thank you for your update on the scheduling and keeping me informed while I was off island. I'd like to thank my parents, my sister, where's my son? My son, Robbie, my wife, Lorraine. Thank you for attending this ceremony. And Chief, thank you. To all the fire personnel, I did this project, and it wasn't just me that did it. It was a contribution from all of you guys, the retirees, the Retiree Association, the active duty personnel that are still on the fire that gave me all this information. This thing wouldn't have happened without the help of everyone. And like I say, enjoyed this history. It reminded me of my dad. He's yeah, part of Sumay, and how he continued to bring the people of Sumay back to where they are and to preserve the history and keep it going. So for you guys that are here, I hope it continues for the next fire cycles that come in, and keep that tradition. Again, thank you, everyone. Appreciate this. My honor, sir. Thank you very much. And again, thank you, everyone. This is not just my doing. It's the help of you guys that provided all the information and the pictures. And thank you for my house captain that decided to bring this forward to your office. Captain Tatalto, thank you very much for all you've done. My crew, some are not here, but again, thank you, everybody. The Guam Fire Department as a whole. Keep up the good work, the hard dedication, and commitment to this island. Thank you. Bomberos.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Chief?
Thank you, Senator Ridgell. Good morning, everyone. Hafa to Mr. and Mrs. Guzman. Thank you very much for joining us. Mrs. Guzman, thank you very much, family. To all the Guam firefighters and fire personnel, thank you very much for attending. This is a very important day because I'm learning that being in this position, these are one of the many privileges as a fire chief, to be able to recognize those that go just a little bit above and beyond just coming in to do their job. And Bob is the epitome of that. Not only did he just come in and do his job and serve his community for over 30 years, or almost 30 years, he wanted to memorialize that. So he took the time on his own, from what I understand, since 2009 when he started his research, throughout the years, reaching out to all the fire cycles, trying to gather all this information, to what you have today. And this is only a portion of what he's achieved. We didn't have enough stands, so we couldn't bring all the pictures down. There's actually 20 pictures that he's put together. And the great thing about Bob is the fact that in my discussion with him, as I was talking to him when we first arrived, he still wants to continue this. So he's actually asked for the 21st cycle, so I'm putting it out to the 21st cycle now, that you need to get your class picture to Mr. Bob Guzman so that he can continue this great effort. History is very important. Fire service is rife with culture and history, and we have the opportunity to continue this tradition, thanks to you. So thank you very much for all that you've done. Thank you very much for preserving the history. But I would like to take the opportunity, because not had the privilege of working with Bob as the fire chief. I have been out on different scenes with him throughout the years, but I definitely want to make sure we understand the achievements and the accomplishments that Bob has provided. So I'd like to ask Deputy Chief St. Nicholas if he would come up and probably give us some background on Bob a little bit more. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, Chief, but I'd really definitely want to make sure we capture this moment correctly. So.
Thank you, Chief Stone, and again, congratulations, Bob. I guess personal account, really, I mean, we're standing next to a legend in our department. In my time as an ALS provider back in operations, the rare medic we would see was a medic that Bob was on, because he was so proficient, so efficient, technically savvy, knew his craft. It was very rare that he would ask for assistance from the advanced life support, because he already knew that he had the patient well taken care of, under control, and his thought process was, I can handle this, let's save the ALS guys for those that may need it even more. And from all of us, we've always appreciated that. Secondly, you knew that when you got onto a unit that Bob was on, because it was probably the most spectacular unit, well kept, shiny, clean, a lot of personal investment, aside from the personal investment that he puts in himself. And it's just one of those things that you already knew where he was at, like cookie crumbs. You already knew where Bob Guzman was at, because either the unit was sharp, the station was improved before better than what it was before he got there, and then the crew was just happy because they had somebody like him who always kept morale up, never complained. If he had issues, he just brought it up the right way, and but still drove on and motivated others to succeed just as much as he has. And so, while this is a small token, this is something created by the Training Bureau. It's a small token of what he's done for us, but I believe the values behind the commitment of the fire department. Since our retirement is not until we're 62, I have at least 20 more years to commit to you that we will keep this as part of Guam Fire Department's history, and have this put up along with the pictures as a token of commitment that this will last, at the very least, for the next 20 years, while many of us are still around. And so, Bob, again, congratulations. Thank you for the huge positive impact that you've had on the Guam Fire Department, and most especially to many of us personally as an example of what we need to be in service to our island and especially to our country as well. Thank you very much. And Senator, if you don't mind, Chief, we're not done. We got one more. I'd like to call up Bob's last commander, Battalion Chief Ed Artero.
Morning, everyone. Bob, congratulations. I'd like to thank the family for being here. Captain Tom for reaching out to the Senator's office to get this moment documented. And Bob is the kind of guy that even people who didn't really work with him in some way or another, they've heard stories of how he's helped everybody. So what we have for you, Bob, is one final parting gift from the Southern Command for you and your family to enjoy. So if you guys could bring up that shadow box and show it off for Bob's final gift.
You have to hang it over your bed? Excuse me, let me get out of the way. Bob, slide right.
If you guys can just hold on to it and lean it forward so everyone can take notice of your awesome work that was done. Bob, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, this is awesome. You guys made this? That's really cool. Congratulations, Mr. Guzman, again. Thank you to everyone for coming out and showing your support and your recognition of Mr. Guzman for all of the hard work that he's done for all of these years. So on behalf of the legislature, I present to you the resolution. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I just want you to know that we all appreciate it. It's something that's very important, not just to the fire department, but to the island as a whole, to capture this history and record it for everyone to enjoy for generations. So thank you very much, Mr. Guzman. Thank you.
Thank you for this awesome shadow box, but trying to think where am I going to put that? Do you guys do delivery? Again, thank you. It's beautiful. I know there's a lot of work that went into this. Again, thank you very much. And last but not least, I want to also thank the Chief Uggan and his staff for helping put up the pictures right before I retire. I know they were kind of, is it straight? Robert wants it this way, but you guys did all the drilling and all that. I was just laughing at my, said this is the last one. I hope this is the last because I want to enjoy my retirement. Again, thank you, Captain Kevin San Nicolas and your crew, the Training Bureau. Thank you again for all you've done. Everybody again, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and if anyone would like to join us, we can take some pictures together with Mr. Guzman. Thank you.